Okay, so I was teaching creative writing. I was asked to teach creative writing for psychiatric service users, and I was asked by my psychiatrist to do that, so I decided to do it. And it was an 8-week course run in a library, and it was a really interesting course, and it was life writing. I'd never taught creative writing, I'd never taught life writing specifically, and I thought, well, if I'm going to be teaching it, I should learn it, because up to then I'd been a playwright. And at the same time I was producing a play I'd just written called McKenna's Fort. At the same time I was teaching this creative writing class. So I knew a lot about writing, but life writing was new to me. I read a lot of memoirs and autobiographies, letters, diaries, very interested in that, but writing was new. And I was studying these people exercises in life writing, and I thought, I should do it. I should do the exercises and so on. And I started to do it, and I just started to really enjoy writing little bits of life, writing essays, memoir and so on. And one of them expanded into an essay called Rough Sleeper, which got published in the Dublin Review in winter 2016. And the editor of Dublin Review was also the editor of in Penguin Ireland, and he said, well, why not write a longer, what came before that section, what came after, and that became the base of the book. So it was kind of, the essay, and then led to the book being commissioned, and that's how the book came about. Well, first of all, there's the basic discipline of writing. I was used to applying myself to writing quite long-form projects like a screenplay or a play. I could go on for several months writing just one narrative. Now, the book was the longest thing I'd written. That was, from start to finish, an 18-month process. So I'd never written anything over a sustained period like that. But I had written plays that took 6 months, and then a development period for a few months afterwards, and so on. So that's one thing, was the discipline. Another thing was that I had been writing just dialogue. I'd just been writing plays and screenplays for a long time. The one thing I did learn from that was structure from plays. So the 3-act structure, beginning, middle, and end, it's very basic, and turning points, and keeping the tension going, and all that goes into the structure of the book. And it came naturally to me. I didn't sort of set out deliberately to have a 3-act structure to the story of my life in the book, but it actually does fall into that quite naturally. And that was just coming from the practice of writing screenplays and plays. And then also, I was out of the practice of writing prose for a long time. I'd written short stories in my 20s and 30s, but it'd been a long time since I'd written or published any prose. And then I did this play called McKenna's Fort, which is a monologue. So it's a one-person show, which means it's one voice. It's basically prose, not dialogue, And that got me back into writing prose. And also, if you read the book, it's quite pared down in terms of the narrative style. So there's a setting, and there's the character, and there's dialogue. So, and that's basically like what you get in screenplay: action, character, dialogue, and it's pared down to that. So it's quite a raw style, and that comes from the screenplay writing. Well, I am still trying to be more open about talking about my mental health. And so I would like the society to be more welcoming to everyone being able to talk about their mental health. But I have to say, I think it's improving, which is great. I still think we need more access for young people to mental health services, and men are not talking about the mental health enough. And there's I wouldn't say, possibly a crisis, or it is very serious amongst mental health amongst men. It's very severe. Depression levels and so on and so forth, and men aren't talking enough, and I really like to see more dialogue there, more dialogue in the workplace. So a lot of people don't feel, but men and women don't feel they can talk about their anxiety levels and stress levels in the workplace, and depression and so on. So that's very important as well. So all those things, in one word, openness. So one book I was given when I was in my mid-20s, and I really wanted to write but couldn't really get started, and was struggling. I had a couple of attempts at writing, but was really finding it hard. And a friend gave me a book called Bird by Bird by Anne Lamott. I don't know if you've heard of that book. Mm-hmm. Yes? No? It's a great book. And it's a self-help book for writers, basically. It's writings about writing and life by this American author, Anne Lamott. And it takes you through lots of theory of writing, but also just kind of holds your hand and takes you through the writer's block and anxiety and perfectionism and all these different things that stop you from writing. And I have found that book to be really useful and got me writing. And I've returned to that book over and over again for 20-something years since I've first received that book as a present. And I lent it to friends, and I just keep reading it. And so that's really helped my writing career generally. And then specifically, writing memoir, A recent book I read was, just before writing my own book, was A Preparation for Death by Greg Baxter. And that was a very raw, intense, open, honest book, and it really taught me to be raw, open and honest in my own writing. So those are the two books.